Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, under this order we have one business by Honorable Dominic Ndambuki. Honorable Dominic Ndambuki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Dominic Mulo Ndambuki, representing Kathiani Central Ward. Honorable Speaker, community health volunteers, otherwise known as CHVs, have been key in sensitization of the public on matters of health. The CHVs have particularly worked tirelessly in creating awareness to the public on the guidelines set by the government institutions to combat COVID-19. Honorable Speaker, it is disappointing to note that these CHVs have been working without their stipend for 8 months in 2019 and for 4 months in 2020. Honorable Speaker, it is worth appreciating that Liberia has an operational program which introduces community health volunteers as an accredited professional cadre. This program can be adopted by the county of Machakos with a view to encouraging the CHVs and increasing their productivity. Honorable Speaker, I wish to seek the following statement. 1. What the Department of Health and Emergency Services is doing to ensure that the CHVs are paid their stipend and arrears without delays. 2. Whether the Department of Health and Emergency Services has an existing policy on terms of engagement of the CHVs. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dominic Ndambuki. Honorable members, the gist of this statement you appreciate is on community health volunteers, and this is coming at a time when we are fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Honorable Ndambuki has referred to Liberia, and when I saw the statement as I was approving it this morning, I checked on what Liberia is doing, and for sure they have successfully used the community healthcare volunteers to fight COVID-19, to the extent that even the developed world is trying to learn from what Liberia is doing. The details of it, I believe, will be shared as we go on. So even as you make a few statements, as we normally do when we have a matter of this nature, I would also encourage you to go further and check on what's happening to Liberia. I believe on the internet you will get information so that you can be sharing it. Even as the executive is thinking about it, you share it at least on the ground. But remember, there are logistics that must be put in place for them to succeed. So let me see what comments members may have on this particular aspect as we commit it to the relevant committee. Honorable Mutinda, and briefly, remember members.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. And I wish to thank the Honorable Member, Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, for the timely statement. Madam Speaker, this is the time we should try to see to it that we support the CHVs. Madam Speaker, I know each one of us is aware that prevention is better than cure. And in the health sector, preventive services should be encouraged more than curative. The CHV group of people are ones which are in the forefront because they are at every corner of our areas. Madam Speaker, like in my case, I have 10 for each sub-location. I have 8 sub-locations, and those are 8 community health volunteers. Madam Speaker, it's worrying that we have been passing budgets here and we have been giving money, and those are some of the areas where the money should be spent on. But these groups of people are always with us asking us, how far is our payment? What have you done to ensure that we are getting paid, Madam Speaker? So I think it's the high time, Madam Speaker, that this follow-up is done so that our people get their stipend. In fact, it's worrying at these COVID-19 times. In fact, they are going to the people, and even they have not been supported fully with the masks. They should also use themselves, leave alone going to take the masks to our people. So, Madam Speaker, something should be done on the stipend, and something should be done on their work environment. They are working in a pathetic situation. They are not fully supported, and we can see the good work this group of people is doing. So, Madam Speaker, I request that this House supports the group, and I support the statement, and wish that every one of us supports it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mutinda. Honorable Ndeti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support Mheshimiwa Ndambuki for bringing such an important statement in the House of, in the Assembly. As Mheshimiwa Mutinda said, these people are in the front line. They are the ones who are meeting our people on the ground who are sick, and for sure, they are not even given any protective gear. I had in my ward to give supply them with masks and sanitizers, and I think it's very important that they be motivated by being given what is due to them. So I call upon the government of Machakos to ensure that they are given what was promised to them, so that they can serve our people with a better attitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ndeti. Honorable Ndawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Judas Milindao, representing the great people of Matu. Madam Speaker, I will start by congratulating my dear brother here, Honorable Ndambuki, for bringing, for tabling the cry for the many electorates in the county. Madam Speaker, these are the community health volunteers. Madam Speaker, like other wards, Matu, I have a group of those people, and they have been coming to my office. Every time I'm in office, they are coming to ask whether we have plans to facilitate them to do their work. Madam Speaker, last Thursday, I received a delegation of people from my ward, and they made it very clear to me that they have served for the last 16 months. 16 months, and they have not been getting anything. Madam Speaker, as we are aware, an angry watchman cannot perform his or her duties when the stomach is empty. So, Madam Speaker, during this time of COVID-19, everybody is very careful not to come into contact with the people who are coming from hotspots, especially those who are coming from Nairobi, coming downwards, coming from Mombasa, coming downwards. And whenever one manages to sneak into the wards, the people who are sent to confirm whether that particular person has come, it is these community health workers. And they go there without any protective gear or without anything. So, Madam Speaker, I'm humbly requesting the House and also the Executive, let us try to minimize this issue of petitions coming to the House because people have not paid. Let us minimize this issue of statements because people have not been paid. It is now becoming another way of demanding money to be paid. If the executive can do their work properly, if the executive can make payment for any job that they give electorates or they give any person to do, I'm very sure the House will not have a lot of business to discuss this issue. So I'm supporting the statement, I'm requesting, if possible, as we are given things to take to the electorate, the community itself, let's have something packed for those community health volunteers so that they can also be motivated. Madam Speaker, I do support.
Thank you, Honorable Ndawa. Honorable Constance Mbula.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am Constance Mbulanzioki, nominated by Mandeleo Chapchap. Madam Speaker, this statement is wanting. I want to congratulate the person who brought it up, Honorable Ndambuki.
Honorable Constance, did you say it is? Wanting.
Wanting.
No, it cannot be. If it is wanting, it means it has a problem. It misses something. It is weak. It is so. Just say the statement could not have come at any other. This is the right time.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
an
you.
important statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I
Wanting is
appreciate.
negative, in other words.
Okay. It is urgent. It
Yes.
is a needy one.
Appropriate.
Appropriate one. Thank you for the English. And I want to say, most of those volunteers, they call themselves health workers, and 80% of them, if not 100%, are women. And Madam Speaker, you can imagine these women walking around. They leave their homes very early in the morning. They walk and walk and walk looking for the sick, for the people who need help. They even go further as to deliver women who are delivering in the homes. And when you look at it, Madam Speaker, they get nothing at all. We meet them on the way, and they are like, I'm just a volunteer. I want something. So you wonder, even us here, as much as we work for the community, I think they do also work like us. And they need money like we do. They need services like we do. They need to run their homes like we do. It's not that they are kind enough to provide their services for free. And that's why I want to say government should do its best. These people need to be looked after and be recognized. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Constance Mbula. In the extended sitting, we have Honorable Masesi, who is the chairperson of the Health Committee. I can also see Honorable Mweni wishing to contribute. And behind Honorable Mweni, there's another member. Can I be shown the members behind Honorable Mweni? The member behind, I'll still go further. Yes,
Honorable Katumo.
Honorable Angela? Yes, so Honorable Masesi, Honorable Mweni, and Honorable Angela. Proceed, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Masesi, Matungulu East Ward, member to the County Assembly, who doubles to be the chairperson, Health Committee. Madam Speaker, I've always regarded myself as a able chairman, and I would like to inform the House that we have a total of 2,521 community health volunteers across the county. Kalama with 131, Kangundo 210 sub-county, Kadiani sub-county 220, Machakos sub-county 256, Masinga 278, Matungulu 300, Mavoko 210, Mwala 500, and lastly Yalta sub-county 340. Madam Speaker, during the budget scrutiny, I brought the agenda to the budget committee, whereby the argument by the department is that they don't have a vote aid for the same, and they were asking for a creation of the same in the department so that they can be able to see what can be as per the stipend to these community health volunteers, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, these are our brothers and sisters, and they are always traversing across the wards, making sure that we are safe. And as an assembly, Madam Speaker, the fair thing we can do to these brothers and sisters is to make sure that they earn what is possible within the budget. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So did we create that vote, Honorable Dominic? Why do I call you Benjamin sometimes? Honorable Dominic, did you create that vote?
Thank you, Madam. In our budget report, we made it clear that they need to be compensated, and we shall work hand in hand with the executive, who are supposed to create the vote heads, not from our end.
Okay, we hear you. Honorable Mweni.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Bendeta Mweni Musyoka, nominated by Wiper. Yesterday, those people, they were doing that work. They passed my place around 6, and they told me that they are not paid. I ended up giving each 1 unga and the kill of dengue. So I think those people, they are very in need. They were giving the children the boosting medicine. So the budget, I think you have to do your work. Ask Mheshimiwa Museku to give that vote. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Unfortunately, Mheshimiwa Museko is not here, and I don't know whether he's the one who gives the vote, but Honorable Ndambuki has heard, is the chair of Budget and Appropriation Committee, and much as Health Chairperson Honorable Masesi, I believe they will put heads together on that. Honorable Angela.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Angela Munyasia, nominated by Wiper Democratic Movement. My contribution is that these health workers are volunteers. And for somebody to volunteer for 1.5 years without pay shows that they have goodwill and that they are determined to go all the way, and they are actually volunteers. Whether they are paid or not, they are discharging their duties. It is only fair, human, and in the spirit of humanity, we need to consider these people, pay them, and ensure that they are comfortable even to discharge these duties, which are passionate duties that everybody agrees that in this country and the world over, COVID-19 is posing danger to our citizens. And if we even have volunteer workers, they need to be facilitated, not only with payment, but with training and also the gear that they need to execute their duties effectively. So I do support the statement, and I support the chair budget for bringing this statement for our consideration. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Angela. Honorable members, the statement will be referred to the County Department of Health and Emergency Services, and the Committee of Health, and I'm glad Honorable Masesi has made a comment on it, will liaise or be instrumental in pursuing the answer to that statement, and the report on it should be brought to the Assembly not later than the 16th of July, 2020. That's a period of 2 weeks, noting the urgency in the matter in the view of the COVID-19 pandemic and the work that the CHVs do in the county. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 8, motion approval of operational report of the County Assembly Service Board of Machakos for the financial year 2017-2018.
Honorable members, under this order, we have one business by Honorable Caleb Mule, who is the chairperson of the Machakos County Assembly Service Board. Honorable Caleb.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, aware that the County Assembly Service Board is established under Section 12 of the County Government Acts 2012, as read together with Section 8 of the County Assembly Services Act. Aware that board consists of A, the Speaker of County Assembly as the chairperson, B, 2 members of County Assembly nominated by political parties, represented in the County Assembly according to their proportion of members in the County Assembly, and C, 1 man and 1 woman appointed by the County Assembly from among us person who are experienced in public affairs, but are not members of the County Assembly. Acknowledging that Section 36(1) of the County Assembly Services Act 2017 provides that within 3 months after the end of each financial year, the board shall prepare and lay before the County Assembly a report of its operations during that year. Further aware that Section 36(2) of the Act stipulates that the annual report shall, in respect of the year of which it's related, contain A, the activities of the board as undertaken and evaluation of the content to which the values and principles refers to its Article 10 and 232 of the Constitution, and complied with in the public services. C, information relating to performance of the services and attendance challenges. And D, any other information that the board may consider relevant. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move that the motion that this House discusses and approves the County Assembly Services Board Operations Report for the year 2017-2018. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Caleb. You have a seconder to your motion.
I call upon Honorable Mutiso to second my motion.
Thank you, Honorable Mutiso.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable PJ Mutiso, Machakos Central Ward, second member of the board, and I second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable PJ Mutiso. Honorable Caleb. And you're aware of what we've been doing on the reports, Honorable Caleb. The reports were circulated yesterday, just like the ones we handled in the morning. Members, it is expected you have gone through them. So we're going to get highlights, as it were, and then we go to a debate on each report. Honorable Caleb. Point of order. Honorable Ndawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's just an application I'm making to you to make a determination. Madam Speaker, sometimes it comes a time we have internal affairs. The executive can sit and say we want to discuss it as an executive. The assembly can also sit and say we want to discuss it as an assembly. So I'm just making an application that this matter be heard expert. Expert means the speaker and the house. We would request the media people to move out because we don't need to expose our internal affairs. It's just a number of requests I'm making, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Ndawa, do we have media here? No.
If they are there, I would request you also send the sergeant at to see whether they have put some gadgets there to tap what we are saying.
Well,
thank you, Madam Speaker.
What is the secret about it? And matters of the assembly are not confidential.
Madam Speaker, as we are aware,
in fact, there is no matter in this
yes,
country.
but what I'm saying is, Madam Speaker, most of the time we are fighting about our people, electorate. And today, since this is a matter concerning the members of the assembly and the assembly, we need to discuss our issues without exposing. Because maybe there are some areas that we are not happy. There are some areas that we need adjustment.
Honorable members, just to guide you, and remember, you know you are on YouTube, where you are being heard internationally, not just nationally. We really don't have anything to hide. The report is also there. Members of the public can also access. There's nothing that we are hiding. The County Assembly Service Board is to ensure that the welfare of the members and of the staff is addressed so that you are facilitated to do your work as members and the staff of the assembly. So if there's anything which is untoward, you should just restrict yourself to the report. Where you talk of other issues you can address in a Kamukunji, I'm advising you, because a Kamukunji is where you can address your own matters. And we had one just the other day. We are actually supposed to be implementing some discussions on a Kamukunji. So don't feel that there's anything untoward about you also voicing out concerns. But remember, the concerns you voice must be viable, legal, procedural, and everything that the public expects us to do. Okay?
Point of order, Madam
Thank
Speaker.
you. Honorable Maida.
Madam Speaker, I want to concur with you because this debate is live in YouTube. So even if we say the media people gets out of the chamber, they can even get our debate through the YouTube, Madam Speaker.
That's why I said, members, debate freely, but make sure that one thing I must point out is that you are entitled to everything that the law has provided for you as a provision to enable you discharge your functions. The same thing with the staff of the assembly, and the same thing with every state officer and every public officer in this country. So feel free, only that make sure that what you put out there is something which is palatable. Palatable is eatable in the public eye and on the palate of the public. Thank you. Honorable Caleb, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As the Speaker indicated before, we are going to do the summary, if you allow, Madam Speaker. I'm doing a report of 2017-2018. Honorable Speaker, this report is prepared in accordance with the provision of Section 36 of County Assembly Services Act 2017, which requires the County Assembly Service Board to prepare and submit report on its operations and activities to the County Assembly at the end of each financial year. The report, which is the first outline the performance of the board on its mandate from 1st July 2017 to 30th June 2018. The board is established under Section 12 of the County Governments Act. Its mandate is spelled out in Section 12 of the County Governments Act and various sections of the County Assembly Services Act. It entails provision of services and facilities to ensure the efficient and effective functioning of the County Assembly, constituting officers in the County Assembly service, and appointing and supervising office holders, preparing annual estimates of expenditure of the County Assembly service, preparing annual estimate of expenditure of the County Assembly service and submitting them to the County Assembly for approval, and exercising budgetary controls over the service, undertaking singly or jointly with other relevant organization programs to promote the ideals of parliamentary democracy, and performing other functions necessary for the well-being of the members and staff of the County Assembly prescribed by the national legislation. Madam Speaker, during the financial year 2017-2018, the County Assembly was allocated a total of 1,227,670,184 from the Exchequer, which comprised of recurrent budget of 836,184. Development of 290 million, or 96 million. Other recurrent transfers, that is loans, budget estimates of Kenya shillings 95 million. The recurrent budget estimates covered personal emolument of 439,381,403, and operation and maintenance of 397,278,781. During this period, absorption rate of 100% of the recurrent budget, while under the development budget, only 173,314,963 was received from the county treasury, translating to an absorption level of 58.6%. Under other recurrent transfers, 60 million was released to the county, to the assembly, which translates to an absorption level of 63.2%. Overall, the assembly total budget estimates were 1.2 billion, and 943 million was realized, resulting to an absorption level of 76.9%. During the year under review, the board appointed 2 officials to the service, both female. 1 officer was promoted and 3 officers were appointed in acting capacity. In addition, the board absorbed 1 officer on secondment from the National Treasury. The appointment made helped to address the human resource needs of the County Assembly Service to facilitate delivery of quality services to the County Assembly stakeholders. In ensuring that the public service is efficient and effective, the board developed, reviewed, and issued 2 policies on human resource management, offered various training opportunities to the members and staff of the County Assembly to equip them with the requisite skills and competencies, and embraced best practice aimed at reducing costs in the County Assembly, such as purchasing of iPads for MCAs and approval of fuel cards for use, among others. In line with reporting on the extent to which the values and principles of public service have been adhered to, the County Assembly Service Board developed 10 thematic areas to enable adequate reporting, intervention towards ensuring high levels of competence with the compliance with the values and principles of public service include promoting high standards of professionalism, ensuring efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery, extending good governance practice, among other initiatives. In the discharge of its mandate, the board faced a number of challenges, key among them being delayed in exchequer releases, inadequate funding occasioned by county executive not honoring cash flows releases, shortage of staff, inadequate office accommodations, and lack of staff scheme of service, as no approval of the proposed county schemes of service has been granted by SRC. In order to improve on the discharge of its mandate and enhance productivity of the County Assembly Service, the board will focus on the following key interventions, among others. A, review the organizational structure of the County Assembly to ensure it is aligned to its mandate and that the service is optimally staffed, and effective service delivery. Consolidate all human resource management policies and guidelines and align them to the Constitution and other legislative frameworks, and undertake impact assessment and policies and guidelines issued by the County Assembly Service. Implement and elaborate monitoring and evaluation framework that will provide feedback on the implementation of the board's function in the County Assembly. Put in place strategies to ensure the County Assembly Service reviews and complies with the County Assembly Citizen Delivery Service Charter. D, build capacity for promotion and compliance with value and principles in Article 10 and 232. Moving forward, the board will continue to work closely with members, staff, and other stakeholders of the County Assembly to address emerging issues in an effort to meet expectations of the Assembly's stakeholders. Membership of the committee. Honorable Speaker, the county...
Of the board. Is it committee or board? Membership. Is it membership of the board?
It's written
Correct,
committee.
correct that.
Okay.
Correct.
Membership of the board. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly Service Board during the year under review comprised of the following members. 1, Honorable Florence M. Mwangangi, Speaker and the Chairperson. 2, Honorable Caleb Mule, Vice Chair, Minority Party Representative. 3, Honorable Francis Ngunga, Majority Party Representative. And 4, Mr. Mbuki FG, Secretary. Acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, I take this opportunity to thank all members of the board for their dedication and undivided attention and contribution during the entire report writing. The board...
Point of information, Madam Speaker, kindly.
Point of information.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is my concern or else to get a clarity from Honorable Caleb Mule whether in the board we have Honorable Mutiso or it's Honorable Francis Gunga according to...
It was at the time in question, the period in question, Honorable Betty.
Thank you, Madam
Yeah, it's
Speaker.
good to seek information where there seems to be not clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The report is between 2017 and 2018. So the person in the board that time was Francis Gunga. Acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, I take this opportunity to thank all members of the board for their dedication and divided attention and contribution during the entire report writing. The board also appreciates the office of the Honorable Speaker and that of the Clerk of the County Assembly for administrative support accorded to it during the exercise. On behalf of the board, and pursuant to the provision of Section 36 of the County Assembly Services Act, it is my pleasure and duty to present to this Honorable House the County Assembly Service Board Report, Annual Operation Report for the financial year 2017-2018. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Caleb. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House discusses and approves the County Assembly Service Board Annual Operations Report for the year 2017-2018. That's the financial year 2017-2018. Honorable members, the motion is open for debate. Honorable Jeremiah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Jeremiah Monguti, MCM, the Deni Ward. Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate the member who has just presented the report. It is a well-elaborated report, though it has some question marks. Madam Speaker, I would like to know why the report was delayed to be given at this time while we had another financial year which has passed. Because this is a report for 2017-2018, which should have come earlier before this time. Madam Speaker, I have also seen in the report that the amount which has been allocated for the assembly, and it's also good that we be transparent because we are the people's representatives. I would like to know from the board that how much has been spent through the votes that we have, either the members of the assembly or the staff or even the speaker's panel vote. Also, Madam Speaker, I have a concern. This year, there was no more than 50 member, which was delayed due to maybe to some technicalities, and also it will be good if we know how much was spent because we had know these members. On the same report, it is seen that it is not authentic because the honorable member who has represented the report has not signed according to the report which I have. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Jeremiah. Honorable Jeremiah, for the signature, the report that was tabled before this House, which is still what you have, I ensured when the paper was being laid, it was signed. And that is clearly captured on the Hansard. I am talking of the report that was tabled. So you can confirm from the report which is on the table whether it is any different from what you are holding, Honorable Member Jeremiah. So we will just carry on with the debate. The questions, of course, will be answered as we go on. Honorable Ndawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want also to commend the commissioner who has tabled the report before this House.
The commissioner?
Commissioner.
Where are you?
I believe board members are also commissioners.
They are not.
They are not.
Honorable Ndawa.
Okay, thank you for collection. I want to congratulate the...
I will tell you why they are not. Commissioners belong to commissions under the Constitution, and the board is not a commission of the Constitution. The board is a board, so it's a board member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for you know we are learning, and you know there is a saying which says, education ends when one dies. So we keep on learning. So thank you very much for you are now my lecturer.
Now continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Did you say you are a lecturer?
Eh?
Did you say we allow you a lecture or something?
I'm saying now you have become my lecturer.
No.
A lecturer is somebody who tuts.
It is about all of us learning, but there is nothing to learn because commissions have always been in the Constitution since 2010.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to thank him for the elaborate report that he has tabled, and I just have a few concerns on the report. Madam Speaker, in the report which has just been tabled before the House, the board member has given us the budget which was there, the budget for the current and the budget for development. And Madam Speaker, I strongly believe when we were, those who are coming up with the budget and budgeted for the entire board. So in the report, we have been told that the recurrent budget was spent 100%. So the concern I have, if the board members were not all, we ended three, we were missing 2. Where did the money which was allocated for those 2 go? That is one of the questions that I need clarity. Question number 2, it has been asked by my brother, Honorable Jeremiah. Today now we have, in 2020, the report we are getting is for 2017-2018. There is another year, 2018-2019. In fact, I would have expected you give us both reports for 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019.
It is there. Look at the order paper, Honorable Ndawa. It is the next one.
Oh, it is the next one? Okay, thank you. So the other issue, Madam Speaker, I think it is good that when we are getting the report, we get 4 aids. for every department. We know the service board, their budget is this, for the welfare of members is this, and for the welfare of the staff is this much. That information is withheld. It is not very clear, Madam Speaker. And that is why I was asking. And that is why I was fearing to, because we don't want to split the beads. It is good in future when you are giving us the report, kindly. I know the work of a dentist is to treat teeth or to remove teeth. And when it comes to their turn to be given the same service, they don't like it. The assembly is the one which is trying to ensure that every cent is spent in the right way. But when it comes to the issue of the assembly, some things are not brought clear. So, Madam Speaker, it is my humble request. It is my humble request. We cannot oversight the executive if we cannot oversight ourselves. So, if we want to do what is required of us, let us start cleaning the house that we stay in. You cannot go to the neighbor and start cleaning there when your house is dirty. Madam Speaker, the house we are living in is not clean. Then, Madam Speaker, I would request, since now we have started another financial year, and these things which we have experienced for the previous years, we expect for the 2018-2019, there was budget for training for members and members of staff. 2019-2020, there was budget for employee training and also members training. Since March this year, members of staff have never attended any training.
Honorable Ndawa, that will come in the report for 2019-2020.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It will be.
I raise my case, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Kieti, sorry, Honorable Musefu will come to you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the chance. I'm Cosmas Kieti. I represent Lower Kaiwa and Kan Ward. Madam Speaker, I want to start by congratulating our board member, Honorable Mole, for presenting the report for CASIB. It is very elaborate, though very late, as other honorable members have noted. Honorable Speaker, I have a few concerns on matters concerning members' welfare. Though we have seen in the report that budgets were done and money was spent. Honorable Speaker, if you can remember very well, there's a time we had Casa Games. Members were provided with the uniform. Some uniform was not fitting, and that uniform was returned. Some uniform has never got to the members, and I don't know how that is catered for within the report. At the same time, the chamber where we are sitting in.
Point of correction, Madam Speaker.
Point of correction from I think you will need to amend the standing orders to provide point of correction, point of clarification, yes, it can be done. Honorable Jeremiah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to correct the honorable member who is on the floor that these uniforms which did not fit the members was not for 2017-2018, but it was for 2018-2019. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Jeremiah. Honorable Kieti, you can proceed.
Thank you, honorable members, and thank you for the correction. Though mine was for the financial year in question, 17-18. Honorable Speaker, at the same time, I was talking about the chamber where we are sitting in. I don't know whether, Honorable Speaker, whether you have known that the seats that we are sitting on have never been repaired since we came. And I was just struggling with the seat where I am because it is broken. When we have budgets for repairs and maintenance of the facilities that we have around, then we expect areas where we spend, although it's a common practice, people prepare very good dining tables and very good sitting rooms and forget about the bedroom where they spend a lot of time. So, Honorable Speaker, it's
So
just
this is the bedroom for the...
this is our bedroom. And we need comfortable seats so that when we are seated here, members do not get backache because of improper sitting. So, Honorable Speaker, when we have budgets, it's my humble request that those budgets are put in prudent use, because as Honorable Dawa has put it, we cannot continue oversighting the executive when we are sweeping our dirt and we are sweeping our dirt and our chairs and under the tables. So it's good that we put everything on the table and we clean our house thoroughly and ensure that members are well catered for. Madam Speaker, I want to say that during the financial year in question, most of us were very green because we had just come to the assembly. I want to say that we enjoyed during that time because we were green and we don't know, we had no experience of what happens. But now that we can see and we are able to benchmark, I think there is a lot that needs to be done to these members so that they continue enjoying the budgets that are set aside for them. And at the same time, our staff who are working around the clock to ensure that we live in conducive environments, they also need to be taken care of so that they also enjoy the fruits of the CASIB. I rest my case, Madam Speaker, and thank you for giving me the chance. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Just a moment, Honorable members. I just want to notify you members why this report is being brought to you is because the CASIB that I had has nothing to hide. And I can bring it here so that you can tell us where we have gone wrong, you tell us where we have gone right. That is why it is here. And for your information, this is the very first report of the CASIB to come to this house. And I want you to check in your records whether there's any other report. And this is not, today is not the first day when the assembly has been established. So that tells you what it is that we are intending to do. Openness. Feel free. Say it as it is. All right? Say it as it is. Because it's out of that that things are put right. All right? Honorable Museku.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Paul Museku. I represent the great people of Mumboni North. First and foremost, I would like to commend the board member, Honorable Caleb Mune, of Muvoti Kimakimwe, and board member for the report which he has gallantly presented before the House, and also commend the entire board for, as Madam Speaker has allowed, providing this House with the first report which you have ever gotten from the County Assembly Service Board. First of all, as a second assembly of this honorable county, and thank them for having given us this report so that we can be able to analyze and look at the things which are affecting both the board and by default affecting us as an assembly. The things I've noted after going through the report are two. We seem, yes, to have absorbed recurrent expenditure 100%. In terms of the funds which were allocated to us, we seem to have absorbed. But when you look at the development expenditure, we seem to have absorbed very little. We seem to have absorbed actually about 173 million only, resulting to an absorption level of 58%. If we are absorbing recurrent expenditure almost to its complete amount which has been allocated, then we need to see development expenditure also being absorbed to the same levels so that we can be able to justify the need for us budgeting for development funds year in, year out. Again, some of the issues which have been raised, which could have led to that, they've talked about delay in releases from the exchequer of funds. And as I alluded to earlier on, so long as we have an approved budget, we need to be committing funds to development projects without waiting for actual cash to come, so that we can be able to improve on the level of absorption in as far as development funds are concerned. The other thing I've seen also in those delays is that it leads to delays also in service delivery. For example, salaries for honorable members or even salaries for staff and other related service delivery departments get affected by delays in exchequer releases. And therefore, there is need for the service board to come out with innovative ways of bridging the gap when we do have salary delays or when we have exchequer delays to the assembly. For example, we had the executive, when the CC Finance was here, he talked about trying to look for a facility which can be able to assist them in bridging such gaps. The County Assembly Service Board needs to look at a similar way and see how they can be able to get overdraft facilities or other like-minded facilities which can be able to assist them in execution of their mandate and ensure that there is flawless execution of services. The issues which you have mentioned here, before I conclude, which the board is as committed to be looking at, and which you have talked about as thematic areas to enable adequate reporting and diversions towards ensuring higher levels of compliance and the values of principles of public service, including promoting high standards of professionalism, which, when I looked at the report, I've seen several of the staff members gained various professional qualifications, which I think is a plus to the board because that needs to be, we are improving on the professionalism of our staff, which we have, ensuring efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery, and also extending good governance practices, among other initiatives. I would request the board to concentrate on this and ensure that they guide this county assembly to even better service delivery levels and also to ensure that we are able to achieve our mandate of representation, oversight, and legislation. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Seku. Honorable Kamito, Minority Leader.
Once again, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm Alex Kamito, MCA at Talaward. Madam Speaker, as I contribute, I'm also happy about the comment that you have made that this is the first report of its kind into this assembly, because as a living experience is that I was in the first assembly, and on a very sincere note, we had not had any report like this one. So congratulations to our board of our service board. And by saying so, Madam Speaker, let me continue by saying I've gone through this report, and my contribution, Madam Speaker, will be on the challenges that I have seen that is being occasioned into the County Assembly Service Board. In our Assembly Service Board. Madam Speaker, in our first assembly, I remember in regard to inadequate funding due to budget ceilings, I remember because I was the chief whip in our first assembly, Madam Speaker. And I remember the leadership went to the CRA office and we talked about our budget ceilings, and we were added the ceiling. So equally, in this year, after now, this financial year, I would request the same if the leadership would go to the CRA so that we may go there and give out our problems which are in line with the budget ceiling. Madam Speaker, I would also talk about a lack of cooperation between the executive and our assembly. Madam Speaker, this goes in regard to our House leadership. And through your leadership, Madam Speaker, I'm not praising you, but it is on a very sincere note that we have been making several visits to the executive. So I'm requesting some frequent meetings between the assembly and the executive so that we may bridge this gap of relationship between the executive, other government offices, and the assembly, so that we may harmonize or see the problem that we have, so that we may solve those problems. Madam Speaker, let me talk about the shortage of staff. The Assembly is very much aware about the interviews that were being carried before the COVID-19 came. So I would always request, Madam Speaker, now that we have got these offices or our boardrooms within the Assembly, and likewise, the COVID-19 should not be a stoppage of the interviews that were being carried out. After this, Madam Speaker, I would also request for the staff interviews so that we may shorten this gap of shortage of staff for service delivery. And again, having said that it is important for us to visit the CRA, if the CRA are going to uplift our budget ceiling, it means the staff that are going to be recruited will be able, their salary will also be able to be factored in. Madam Speaker, lack of scheme, that is on page 66, lack of scheme of service. In any government, Madam Speaker, I'm saying that once again, I was in the civil servant for that 5 years. And in any institution, there must be progression of promotions, salary increments, and the like. So my request, Madam Speaker, because one thing we are lucky in Machakos County Assembly is that our Speaker happens to be the Deputy Chair of the CAF. So in your forum, these are the areas, Madam Speaker, you should talk about the scheme of service for the workers within the assemblies, because their scheme of service must be looked into in regard to their promotions, their salary increments, and the like. Because in any institution where there is stagnation or promotions, the like, there is outrightly the results will be, there will be no motivation of the workers. So, Madam Speaker, this is an area that you, as being our Vice Chair in the CAF Forum, is an area that you should also talk in regard to this SRC, so that such schemes should be approved, and career progression and promotion should be seen to be a progression within the assemblies, Machakos County Assembly being one among the other county assemblies. That is my observation. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, thank you very much for the report by one of our honorable member, Caleb, so that, we are seeing things are moving quite in the right way. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Committee. Honorable members, just a moment, Honorable Mutiso, to respond to some points that the Honorable member, especially Minority Leader, and Honorable Museku have raised. I'll provide the answers where I can, because so that other members don't go wondering. For Honorable Museku, on the delays in release of exchequer and how it affects execution of projects, we truly appreciate the discussion and guidance that you have provided. The County Assembly is a going concern, so that we should be committing, because we already have a budget, whether or not the funds have come. And that is a lesson we have learned. We will do that. So for purposes of implementation of the capital projects. On Honorable Kamito's mention of seeking to increase the ceiling, you're very right, and we have already written as a board to the SRC, to the CRS, sorry, and copy to SRC to increase our ceiling. And then on the issue of the recruitments for interviews that were pending, that were going on before the COVID-19, we have also discussed it, and I will also be engaging the House leadership on that wall, because going forward, we also have to start living in the new normal. So we have thought as a CASIB that we will make arrangements that we can start now these interviews. The only issue we're waiting for is for the president's guidance, especially because of the roadblock at Small World, and also Kangundo Road, because some of those interviewees, candidates, would have to travel to Machakos. And so the issue of clearance is what we were worried and wondering about. So after the directions or directives by the president, hopefully this weekend, we'll see the way forward. But again, even if it is to a way that those roadblocks are not opened, the clerk will have to organize for some passes for those candidates so that we can finish and populate our departments, because the shortage of staff is serious. And then, thank you, we also have the schemes of service. Yes, we also didn't have them, but now we've already initiated a program. In fact, we have gone through, we are calling them career progression guidelines stroke schemes of service. We are almost finalizing on approving them as a board. It's a lengthy document, and we just want to have it because we have to motivate the staff, that even the Honorable Mr. Dominic, seated here, he knows there's a path he can climb to become the clerk of the assembly, right from the assistant clerks and any other progression that is necessary. And we'll also be doing some promotions, because there hasn't been promotions for quite a while, other than a few we did last year. So this is good, you're reminding us, but I want to assure you that it's already on our tables. Thank you. So we can carry on. Honorable Motiso, you wanted to say something.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I appreciate the members, the honorable members of their concern that they are raising. And what I wanted to add, Madam Speaker, is just a few points, because members have already noted where the problems were because of the delay. And there were other points or other challenges which are not in that report. One, Madam Speaker, you know that there was some day of the 4th and the 5th member, which was just approved by this Honorable House. That was September last year. Went to court up to 7 p.m. pursuing whether we can get our salaries. That was also a problem. So members, you can recall that there were some problems of which causes the delay. There was a member who raised, we were just talking, and he raised something on fuel card. I think members, you know that this is not for only this house, it is the whole operation of the assembly, the counter assembly. So it is about fueling the vehicles, because Honorable Ndawa raised that query on that report. He was just requesting to know what it means by the card, fuel card. So that is so about Mheshimiwa Ndawa through the chair. And what I can promise or ensure this Honorable House is that because of those delays and also the challenges that we faced, and also reporting late, because I've also noted that, I ensure this committee that we will be reporting to this House timely, starting this financial year of June 2020. So, Madam Speaker, being the chair of the board, make sure that everything is in order, because we don't want to face those kind of questions in the future. Because we know that the problem was there before because, if I can remember, if there was no report given by the first assembly, there was no even handing over of even what was there before. And those are kind of challenges that we faced. So members, we can bear with the situation that we had. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Mutiso, I call upon the mover of the motion to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, thank you for appreciating. Understand, Honorable Speaker, I'm having a funny sound when I'm having this.
Yes, actually it sounds funny. And honorable members, I sent a note to the extended chamber for comments, and I was told there wasn't a member wishing to contribute at that time.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, honorable members, for supporting this report. Honorable Jeremiah Mungoti.
For record purposes, reply to what the honorable member raised. He may have walked out, but the record will be there.
Yes, he asked about the delayed presentation of the report, and thank you, Honorable Mutiso, for your clarification. In simple terms, we are settling down. We are a new board, and it was settling down. And they were delayed because there were changes of board members and all that. That is one of the reasons why we didn't bring the report in good time. Honorable Member Ndawa talked about consuming 100% of recurrent budget. Yes, we did. But remember, Honorable Ndawa, we brought a supplementary to supplement what was not utilized by honorable members. So I'm sure, honorable members, you enjoyed that enhancement of that facility. So supplementary budget was brought to this. Us not absorbing the to 100% development. There were some challenges, yes. One of the challenges was delayed procurement procedures, lengthy procurement procedures rather. And again, you remember it is in this assembly, in this chamber that the proposed chamber was put on hold, so we did not utilize that development budget. Again, it is in the same vote line that we have ward offices. And there are challenges, and especially when, for an example is me, I have not found space to build the ward offices, so we've not utilized to 100% ward office voted.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Point of order, Honorable Museku.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I've just...
Honorable Museku, point of order from me. Yes. You put on the mask.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have noticed my mistake in time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to inform the honorable member that, yeah, I believe we are talking about the financial year 2017. 2018. 2018.
Yes.
There are no ward offices.
It's true.
So I think those that will come in the next report, for
report.
2018-2019. For this one, the ward offices was not a factor, but I appreciate what the honorable member is pointing out. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Museku. Honorable Mheshimiwa Caleb.
Thank you for correction, Honorable Museku. That's about all, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Honorable members, I now put the question that this Honorable House discusses and approves the County Assembly Service Board Annual Operations Report for the financial year 2017-2018. As many as of the opinion say aye.
Aye.
Honorable members in the extended chamber, as many as of the opinion say aye. Thank you. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 9, motion approval of operational report of the County Assembly Service Board of Machakos for the financial year 2018-2019.
Honorable members, under this order, we have again one business by Honorable Caleb Mule, Vice Chairperson, Machakos County Assembly Service Board. Honorable Caleb.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, aware that the County Assembly Service Board is established under Section 12 of County Governments Act 2012, read together with Section 8 of County Assembly Services Act, aware that the board consists of A, the Speaker of County Assembly as a chairperson, B, 2 members of County Assembly nominated by political parties represented in the County Assembly according to the proportion of members in the County Assembly, and C, 1 man and 1 woman appointed by the County Assembly from amongst persons who are experienced in public affairs but are not members of the County Assembly. Acknowledging that Section 36(1) of the County Assembly Services Act 2017 provides that within 3 months after the end of each financial year, the board shall prepare and lay before the County Assembly a report of its operations during that year. Further aware that that Section 36(2) of the Act stipulates that the annual report shall, in respect of the year to which it relates, contain 1, the activities the board has undertaken, an evaluation on the extent to which the values and principles referred to in Article 10 and 223 of the Constitution and complied with in the public service. C, information relating to performance of services and attendance challenges. And D, any other information that the board may consider relevant. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this House discusses and approves the County Assembly Service Board Operations Report for the year 2018-2019. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Caleb. Who is seconding your motion?
I call upon Honorable Mutiso to second my motion.
Thank you. Honorable Mutiso.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable PJ Mutiso, I second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable PJ Mutiso. Honorable Caleb Mule.
Again, Madam Speaker, I read the summary of the annual report of 2018-2020.
Sorry, Mheshimiwa Caleb, just remain where you are. Just to remind members, the report had also been shared out. And like we've been now doing with the reports which are shared out in good time, Honorable Caleb will give some highlights and then we shall debate the report. Thank you. Proceed, Honorable Caleb.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The report is prepared in accordance with the provision of 36 of the County Assembly Services Act 2017, which requires the County Assembly Service Board to prepare and submit report on its operation and activities to the County Assembly at the end of the financial year. The report outlines the performance of the board on its mandate from 1st July to 30th June 2019. During the financial year, Madam Speaker, 2018 to 2019, the County Assembly was allocated a total of 1,230,776,339 from the Exchequer, which comprised of recurrent budget of 851,776,339, development of 294 million, other recurrent transfers, that is loans, budget estimates of Kenya shillings 85 million. The recurrent budget estimate covered personal emolument of 354,795,858, and operation and maintenance of 496,880,481. During this period, absorption rate of 98% of the recurrent budget, while under the development budget, only 24,327,550 was received from county treasury, translating to an absorption level of 8.2%. Under other recurrent transfers, 85 million was realized to the Assembly, translating to an absorption level of 100%. Overall, the Assembly total budget estimate were 1,230,776,339 and 941,103,579 was realized, resulting to an absorption level of 76%. A conducive work environment and employees' welfare program are prerequisite for enhancing organizational and individual performance and productivity. The County Assembly has put in place the provision of adequate office space through construction of new office block, provision of both medical and general insurance, ensuring engagement of the Assembly in CASA games, and provision of cafeteria services, and ensuring all staff proceed for their annual leave and are paid their leave allowances. In line with reporting on the extent to which the values and principles of public service have been adhered to, the County Assembly Service Board developed 10 thematic areas to enable adequate reporting. Interventions towards ensuring high level of compliance with the values and principles of public service, including promoting high standards of professionalism, ensuring efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery, and extending good governance practice, among other initiatives. In the discharge of its mandate, the board faced a number of challenges, key among them being delayed in exchequer releases, inadequate funding occasioned by county executive not honoring cash flow releases, shortage of staff, lack of staff schemes of service, as no approval of the proposed county schemes of service has been granted by SRC, among others. To enhance productivity in the County Assembly service, the board will pay attention on the following key interventions so as to improve its mandate. A, review the organogram of the County Assembly to ensure it is
Point of
aligned.
order, Madam Speaker. Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Point of order, Honorable Kisila. You want to interrupt a reading of a report?
Please, Madam Speaker, because I'm actually seated outside with other members, but we are lost. We are lost because we don't even know where Honorable Caleb is reading from. And we just received a 70-page report a few minutes ago. I think it will be doing injustice to ourselves if we are going to be accepting documents and also accepting members to be presenting where we cannot actually follow. And we've been raising point of order when you're outside, and no one is actually...
Honorable Kisila, yes. I sent a note to the Sergeant at Arms, what is his name? Mr. Munyao? Yes. I sent a note to him for members in the extended sitting, if any of them has a comment. And the paper is here, he wrote none, like I've been doing. And Honorable Kisila, if you remember, all the reports since morning were supplied yesterday, distributed to membership. Mr. Ndambuki, Dominic, can you confirm? When were they distributed? Last evening. When were they distributed? No, just a moment. In what manner? They were uploaded on the Assembly website, and in addition to the copies that are given. But if you want to take time to read, we can adjourn the motion, we can come back and debate. It is your report, honorable members. But note, we have been operating in the manner of this debating since morning, because reports have been supplied in advance. But as I said again, we want to be open, like an open book. And this is the report of your board. So if you want to adjourn, we will fix another day when we can come and debate, so that you can go and read the report. Honorable members, it is yours. Make a decision. So we can put I had proposed the question, all right? And so the report is the property of the House. So members who feel that we need to take another day, can we agree that you go and interrogate the report? Is that correct? Yes. All right. So we will, let me see it in the extended chamber. Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to bring to your attention that the report you are getting from the clerks is not true. Because since morning I've been requesting for this report, even including lunch hour. I stood with Mheshimiwa Mulevu and I pleaded to him to give him his copies so that I can make copies, and he refused to give me.
Honorable members, no, I get the concerns. Let me, no, it's not an argument. Honorable members. Honorable Kisila, hold your peace, please. Because it's not a debate. If members want to have time to read, let them have time to read. Because the instructions that came from the board is that this report be shared out. Do you remember when the notice of motion was given? Was it on Monday? On 29th of June 2020. Notice of motion was given, the paper was late, all right? And so today we agreed it will be a debate. So if members, you want us to give time, let us give time. And for that, we will, because the debate is already, the motion is already a property of the House, we're going to adjourn the debate on this report. And so, honorable members, because we still want to discuss on the way forward how we are going to operate the business of the House, we shall ballot it. We shall ballot the report for debate on a suitable time. On a suitable time when you feel you are ready to debate it. All right? The request is that we debate it on another day.
Madam Speaker, I'm requesting that you order the table clerk to provide hard copies.
And so they have heard. Yeah. The table clerks will provide the copies, so that if you don't have, if you have not been able to access the website, but I can see a number of you also have hard copies, they will provide them so that then you'll be able to debate from informed point of view. All right? So, do we have any other motion? Any other business? Do we have any other business? Honorable members, at this point, the sitting is adjourned. And the adjournment, members, is indefinite, but it doesn't mean that it is going to be long. I will consult with the House leadership so that we can set another day when we can come and carry on with this business among the other urgent businesses that will come up. So, honorable members, have a good evening.